time. We'll just go for it and see what happens.
I like
So,
that.
yep,
I like not over planning for a particular episode.
never.
I take that back. I was over organizing in the past, I think.
Yeah, unnecessary.
Yes.
So,
A little too
thanks
OCD.
everybody.
Oh,
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out episode 37 of the Cube Nerds podcast. I'm Mike and joined always by Scott R.
Scott.
McKinley. Scott, yeah, I know. Scott still works too. So,
Scott works. Scotty works fine too, as well.
yep, I know. Like I said,
Hi, everybody.
yep. Um,
We
how's it going?
have a good show going for tonight, and it's going fine. Feeling pretty good, and all up for tonight. Visiting my mother out in Pennsylvania tomorrow, and staying with friends very close to my mother in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, really? Oh, I bet you're
And
thrilled about that.
I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, history and a chance to get a good exercise in. The battlefield's very, very hikeable. It's just you can't do the whole battlefield without probably dying. I think it's probably about an 18-mile walk, and most people probably aren't up to that.
Yeah,
But
I get.
it's going to be good weather, and
I
boy,
have.
I'm looking forward to it
Oh,
very much so. And I
yep.
look forward to seeing my mother.
Wow, that's
Hi,
very nice.
Mom.
Yep. Hi, honey, and hi, Pat. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so yeah, Food Fight Part 3. I should have went back and listened to Food Fight Part 2, but I tell you what, on my way into work this morning, I listened to the last episode, last week's episode, and that got me
Yes,
fired up. That got me fired up enough.
I would
Just like
think
it.
so. Now, for people listening who may not be aware, there was a post on Facebook by one of our dear coworkers named, well, we won't give his name, although it's Dave Gould for those who don't want to know. And he discussed a very popular sort of meme of like, how would you prepare the following three basic food groups, including steak, toast, and coffee,
Oh
which I
yeah, that's
think
right.
are three
That's
of the
right.
best, most popular food groups. So,
It was one of those memes where it was like 1 to 10 and
yeah,
all different levels of toastiness and different,
and
colors
preparedness
of
for the
coffee.
steak and colors of coffee. Yes,
Yeah.
how much cream do you like in it, or how much coffee would you like in your cream, kind of thing. And I thought it was very interesting. A couple of his friends answered. I chipped in with a couple of comments, and then little by little, I started to cross reference it with other folks that we have known or have as friends in common from the past
I know you're trying
who
to
we
get
used to
anybody
work
you
with.
could on your side.
Well, that, and I also just wanted to get everybody of it was a way to do a get together of people we haven't seen together in 5 years or more, right?
Yeah.
Except for a very rare get together in person. So I just thought that was a nice way dragging people in of like, why am I being tagged in this? Oh, oh my gosh, Mike is there, and Bert has responded, and I see Melanie. Hi, Melanie, and Pat Izzo, and I ran out of time. If I'd gotten really underway, I would have probably put in another 30 or 40 people, just because I love hearing from everybody so much. And I'm just sorry for any of Dave's friends who might have been like, "Who is this guy taking over and having all of these crass comments about properly cooking your steak?" Well,
Taking over.
burning the steak, yes, taking
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my
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 apologies
wife
for that.
my wife likes well done steak, but she's started to come down to just, like, medium well, instead of just well. Now, Bert in our conversation, we'll gonna start off with steak, but believe me, this isn't all about steak
Yes,
because you've
yes.
got a shitload of other
And
hot
we've got
food
a lot of
takes that are.
vegetarians and vegans who also watch. So, just don't be put off. This isn't going to be like Meat Lover episode number 3. No, no, no. It's just one of the things that happened to be part of the meme. That's why we're talking about it. Plus, a couple of us do enjoy a good steak properly prepared.
So when I think
I am one
steak,
of
I think of a well done steak, I think of dry, hacking at it, chewing it forever. That's what I think for well done steak. Now, Bert in our discussion said, "That's technically it should never be done, that's technically or it should never be dry, That's technically overdone. Dry is only okay for thin steaks and if you're putting them on a sandwich. That's
Yes.
fine. Well, no, where's the rest of what he said? Oh, yeah, no. My vote is for steak well done, which is crazy, but we almost don't count Bert's opinion on
Well,
stuff
well
because
done is actually a way you can ask to have it done. There is no option the waiter gives you. Would you like it destroyed and burnt? No. Well done just means it's cooked all the way through so that you don't get any of the redness or the pinkness. But as Bert said, it shouldn't be dried out
see, when
and
I
it
think
shouldn't
well
cut
done,
like
that's what I think.
hacked.
I think dried and burnt. Yeah, my vote
Well,
is
if you think
for
that, then you're thinking overdone. It's
well, I guess
different
so.
from well done.
My vote for streak is well done. If it comes out like jerky, then they don't know what the hell they're doing because they fucked it up. It should still be tender and juicy, just not pink inside. All I know is that if I get a subtle taste of blood, I'm done. Nope. So I've never seen a well done tender and juicy steak.
I have.
Then
It's
it's not
a
that's not well
matter
done.
of well, it means it's properly prepared, well
Pat's
done.
got the right
It
idea. See,
means there's no pink.
temperature 160, what's that? I think that's medium or medium
It's
rare.
well, you can get it well done by 160. It's how long do you cook it through at 160? And keeping in mind that Pat is correct, because if you start just ramping the temperature up, it's just gonna look well done on the outside and be raw on the inside, because then you won't have it match. Plus, the juices have to sort of settle throughout on an even sort of pace so that it's cooked all the way through, all over the entire steak,
So
instead of just
Pat
what do you
likes a
say?
well done ribeye, I think he's saying. So I don't know. Maybe I need to
Well,
start
we're
trying
not
some
going to
well
talk
done
about the
steak.
cuts. Most people would agree that the fillet is the best possible cut that you can get. Although I've
Yeah.
certainly had it destroyed, and I should say I've had it destroyed by undercooking more frequently than I've had it destroyed by overcooking.
Yeah, see, a fillet is
Either
very
case,
hard
it means that they don't know what they're doing.
a fillet is very hard to overcook because even a well done fillet is still soft and has a lot of flavor to it.
Which I'm pretty
So,
sure was what Bert was aiming for, and I
yeah,
agree completely with that.
okay.
Now, that being said, I'm getting some of it from my father. My father liked it well done. I have had a few cases where I've ordered it, medium rare. I think I've ordered it rare once and regretted it, but, I
Yeah.
used to do medium rare much more frequently until a couple of times where it was yeah, I ugh.
See, it was
And you can confuse a bad cut with undercooked too,
yeah.
because a bad cut means it's got all that sinew and kind of stringy texture, and if it's undercooked, it looks disgusting.
I was actually
Did you ever see The Fly with Jeff
no, I actually
Goldblum?
have not. I know the movie, know all about it, I've never seen it.
Well, let's just say that an undercooked steak looks like something that Jeff Goldblum would have put through the matter antimatter or the converter and come up on the other end. Unlike that baboon that oh god. There's a scene in there that I won't reference again, except to say that,
So
after
when he
seeing that scene in the theater when The Fly first came out, I didn't eat meat again for a month.
so when he barfs on the guy's hand and melts it?
No,
Okay.
no.
Um, yeah, see, I remember one time I was at Outback and I ordered a medium steak and it came out, like, really pink in the middle, like, almost undercooked in the middle,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is too rare for me," and they're like, "Well, that's medium, a little pink in the middle." I'm like, alright, I guess so." And then
And
now
you're
I
wondering, like, are you colorblind?
yeah,
Uh,
see, now I get it, and I'm just like I mean, I eat it, I'm like, "Hey, this is good." Like, there's a lot of flavor in it like that. Not too tough to chew, it's good stuff.
it depends on the cut of meat. So, one of the things I wanted to emphasize, so when I say I like a steak well done, some of it depends on, do I trust the staff who's cooking it? And do I trust the cut of meat?
Are you gonna
So,
put that much thought into it?
well, let's say you're ordering a steak from a diner where you're getting, like, steak and eggs. How good is that steak going to be?
Yeah, that's you're not expecting that to be a delicious steak.
And I think it's going to be better if you have it well done. I really do. And I would also say at a diner, that's where I'm gonna ask for the A1 steak sauce right off the bat.
Yeah, I'll tell you what,
Any restaurant that isn't a diner, I wouldn't dare to put steak sauce on something that they've prepared
if you get a
because
well
that's
done
just
steak at a diner, you're
yeah.
getting char-broiled steak.
Yeah,
You're not getting a nice tender and juicy well done steak. No, you're getting a slab.
right. And you know what? If you're getting steak and eggs and you're in the mood for that, that's fine.
Yeah,
By the
not
way,
too
I would
terrible.
never put ketchup on eggs. I don't know those odd people who do, and I would never put ketchup on steak.
I mean, I
I
put
think
ketchup on
it's
steak when I was
stupid.
a kid. You never put ketchup on your eggs?
Who does that?
I
Oh my
do.
god. Oh.
Scrambled eggs with some ketchup on it, mixed in with some ketchup. So what do you just eat, like, dry ass eggs?
Well,
Scrambled
you
eggs?
you put salt,
Yeah,
pepper
okay.
on it, and sometimes there's a little bit of cheese mixed in. It's a very tasty egg dish.
Well, how
Very
do you like
tasty.
your eggs?
Why would you wanna slaughter it by putting on ketchup?
Burt Ramdam is watching. Um, how you just missed your shout out, Bert. Um, okay, wait. So how do you like your eggs?
I like them scrambled. I think that is the
Uh,
best way to have eggs possible. Although, what is this? You're dying over here? You want me to say omelet? I like omelets.
no, it's fine eating scrambled eggs. I like scrambled eggs too.
W
But you don't
you
put
winced in pain like you were like I'd
because
slapped you or stabbed your mother or something. It's like,
you
"Oh my
I mean,
god, what have I done?"
Do you do like Gordon Ramsay style eggs where they're creamy and you add the cream fraiche to them? No, okay,
No.
so you're cooking your eggs and you just put salt and pepper on them and just eat like dry eggs?
Well, actually, like I said, I put a little bit of cheese in there. And if you melt the cheese while you're cooking the eggs, it mixes in.
Yeah,
So it's not like I'm telling you to go and buy some Velveeta or some sort of, that sliced American that comes individually wrapped in the plastic cellophane. You take it off and you're like, "Oh my god, the cheese looks still looks like it's wrapped in cellophane.
not
Let me
even
put
hot
that on top of my scrambled eggs." No, 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 that's disgusting. And
not even
that's,
hot sauce? Nothing?
hot sauce, not bad.
You put a little hot sauce on your eggs?
Sometimes. My father liked that too.
Okay, that's
But he also
something.
liked cream chip beef on toast, so, there's
Not my thing.
no,
I'm
I
trying
wonder
let me
if
just
that's
think
what
of
it's all
random
about.
things that now, actually, something that came to my mind, which I feel like we haven't talked about this, which is surprising. What about a hot dog? Yeah, Tabasco sauce, Pat. There's that jalapeno Tabasco sauce. I like putting that on my eggs. That I'll tell you what, eggs and avocado and some of the jalapeno Tabasco sauce.
Avocado.
Yep, avocados are delicious.
Uh, okay.
Yep, they got to be just right though. They're only ripe for about 10 minutes, so you got to make sure you eat it in that 10-minute
That's a
window when it's
pretty
ripe.
narrow window there, buddy.
Yeah, when you buy an
Wouldn't it be
avocado, it's
safer just not to have them?
when you buy an avocado, it's rock solid, and then you got about 2 days before it's ripe, and then if you don't eat it in that window, it's mush by the next day.
Mhm.
So, that's why they
It's
sell
like
big
McDonald's french fries that have the half-life of,
yeah,
like, 30 seconds. You're, like, between, like, "Oh, that was oh."
yeah, they sell these giant bags of avocados at, because avocados are good for you. So, they sell these giant bags of avocados at Costco, and I'm like, "Okay, when I'm in the mood for avocados and I'll have a lot of avocados with eggs, that's it." But it's like, "No, I got a whole bag of rocks because these avocado and they all go and then they're all ripe at the same time." And now it's like, "Fuck, I can't eat 8 avocados right now because they're all ripe at the same time, and if I don't eat them fast enough, they're all going friggin' bad." So, yeah, avocados are great, but, they're you gotta be careful with them.
Do you eat, avocado toast?
I have made it a few times, it's actually delicious with some
My
lemon
son
juice and
likes it,
some
my wife
yeah,
likes it.
yeah, with some s it's I'm too lazy to make it, but it is good.
I just don't have
Yep.
a taste for it. I'm not putting it down or saying that it's bad.
Hard, yeah,
I'm
my wife can't stand stand them. Hard-boiled eggs with avocados, I don't think I've
big
ever had a
oh.
hard-boiled egg with avocado. There's usually scrambled eggs I mix them in with or something, or an omelet. Yep, delicious. Well, like I said, with some hot sauce, not ketchup, not putting ketchup on an avocado, But some hot sauce with an avocado, that I can dig.
Well, yeah, a little bit of heat instead of, blandness is good.
Yep.
Because if there's one thing that is bland, it is scrambled eggs with nothing on them.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, can't have any of that. So now too, yeah, so that, of course, the ultimate conversation in this deal. Well, alright, well, another thing I put ketchup on, maybe we talked about this, homemade macaroni and cheese
I love homemade macaroni and cheese.
with some
Who
ketchup on it.
doesn't? Oh my god, why would you desecrate it?
It's delicious.
Jeez.
I'm not putting ketchup on Kraft macaroni and cheese. I feel like that's gross. Homemade macaroni and cheese that my mother makes with some ketchup
Something made
on
with
it?
love and let's just pour ketchup on it.
Nope. It's delicious.
It's like putting maple syrup on everything. It's like, "Okay,
Map
let's kill or hide the taste." So
maple syrup's
that's another
delicious.
thing. A good way of ruining beef is by putting barbecue sauce on it,
I don't
because
know if I
barbecue
agree with
sauce
that.
overwhelms,
Well,
almost any meat that you put it on.
this is okay, so this is the
So I
perfect
don't eat
segue.
barbecue sauce. I just don't.
What do you put on a hot dog?
I don't put barbecue sauce. Do you put barbecue sauce on your hot dogs?
No, what do you put on a hot dog?
Mustard, like any sane, intelligent person.
Okay, so you're one of those anti-ketchup hot dog people?
I've had it with ketchup. I don't prefer it, although I don't run squealing about it. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't think it's a good taste combination. It's not
S
ideal, let's put it that way.
so the reason that you put ketchup on a hot dog is because it masks the
It
flavor of an inferior beef product. So that's why I'm saying the
that's
segue of
probably one of the reasons why it was invented, by the way,
mhm.
was to do that. Remember, that was the case back in the early 1900s. This is why we had those meatpacking laws, was because they didn't have proper refrigeration, and one of the ways that you would mask proper refrigeration was a heavy use of different condiments. That's why spices were so important to,
Red
wow.
dye number 3.
Okay,
So yeah, so
the
not even fries,
bird
and I'm
has
sure
spoken, not even
yeah,
fries.
ketchup only goes on burgers, nothing else, not even fries. So what do
It
you put
goes
on your
on fries.
fries? Yeah, ketchup
Well,
absolutely goes on fries.
it doesn't have to go on fries. I
Well,
like it
well,
on fries.
let's
I like
say
it on
that
the side. I can dunk or not dunk.
let's put in context here that nothing has to go on something. You can eat anything you want, however you want.
Yes, I
But
think that's a good way to put it,
yeah,
Mike. Thank you.
it's funny. So Melanie mentioned no steak on sauce ever, which is funny because I'll mention another
No sauce on steak, you mean?
no sauce on steak ever. So I'll mention, which is something that I use, a phrase I actually stole from this person. So some Jeff Stebbins that we used to work with, he told me a story about when his dad orders a steak and they say, "Would you like any steak sauce, sir?" He goes, "I sure hope not." And I say that now when they ask me at a restaurant if I need steak sauce, I go, "I hope not."
And
So,
that's the best way to put it. So, no steak sauce ever means, do you really wanna cripple your experience if you're having an inferior steak? Whereas an A1 sauce will perk it up and make it edible
yeah,
if it
and
wasn't
again,
edible.
I enjoy it, but would I prefer it? No. Or sometimes if I'm sick of it, maybe I wanna switch up the taste. Onions on
Here's something else. Have you ever tried HP sauce
yes,
instead of A1 sauce?
I
You
have tried
have?
HP sauce. Um, I don't remember it I don't think I ate a ton of it, but it's okay. It's kinda like a Worcestershire ketchup almost.
Worcestershire. Do you ever use that on your steak, Worcestershire
No.
sauce?
Only thing
Why
I
not?
put that in is if I'm making some kinda sauce or something. Never put
It is a bit
I
strong and
have.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Now,
I think
when I was growing up, the only thing we ever put Worcestershire, we had one of those bottles that lasted like 15 years.
of course.
'Cause the
Yep.
only thing in my family we
Nobody's
ever put it on was
yeah.
something called pepper steak. Have you ever heard of pepper steak?
I've heard of pepper steak, yes.
Think of the stringiest, least expensive cut of steak you could possibly buy. You have to pound it for like an hour and a half with a rock, well, or one of those hammers. And the Worcestershire is the mass that tastes it. It doesn't taste very good. And then I don't know, I think my mom had the recipe from someone, and so it became one of her go-to things, and it was sort of like, "Ugh, here we go with the pepper steak," not realizing that in other families, they just didn't eat it. I thought this was an American thing, was that it was a required thing, you had to eat this stuff.
So going back to burgers, ketchup, mustard, and pickles and onions. See, I
Who
don't
said
like
that? Who said that?
Melanie said that. So
Wow,
I
that's
don't like
interesting.
I don't
Yep.
I don't like pickles or onions on my burger. And this is a conversation Bert and I have had because Bert likes a crunch of a raw onion on a burger. I don't. Raw onions are just gross. However, I've seen Gordon Ramsay when he cooks a burger, and it's funny because he's actually said this in one of the videos I've seen. He likes the grilled onions because you don't overpower the flavor of the burger with the taste of a raw onion, which you do. Grilled onions on a burger, delicious.
And, even better than grilled onions are the, onions that you do cook that are, caramelized.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Oh.
The best burger I ever had, because again, I'm not nuts about onions.
And neither am I. I spent most of my all of my childhood and through, college not liking
Mhm.
onions on anything.
See it, yeah, but the best burger I ever had was when I was actually subscribed to HelloFresh,
Ah,
and they had a burger called the Gouda Times burger.
we've had
So it
that.
was a yeah, delicious, the
We
best
had
burger I ever had.
HelloFresh,
Yeah,
and it was quite good. I completely agree with that.
yeah, it was like some kinda onion jelly or something they called it. It was fucking delicious, and I'm
We're
like, and I
making,
made it.
Pat hungry.
I know,
So it's
yeah,
working, it's working, and we're hoping this works for anybody out there who's watching
yeah,
that,
maybe not at 10 o'clock at
we
night
should have
though.
warned this at the beginning of like, "Warning, if you haven't eaten, you're gonna really regret watching this because if we do our job right, you will be hungry and not
Yeah, well, I
nauseous."
didn't expect this to go this way, thankfully, I ate dinner
You thought we
tonight,
were gonna
otherwise I'd be
argue
hungry.
more?
I did, and I'm sure we'll get there. We'll
Oh,
transition into
don't worry,
something else.
we've got plenty of that. I haven't eaten, since yesterday afternoon, so
Are you shitting
I'm
me?
starving. And,
It's 10
I
o'clock
probably
at night.
should have eaten. I was working all day today.
You gonna stop to
Ever
eat?
since
Come
I
on.
left ADP, I find that I'm working more hours than I did at ADP, or
Wow,
I'm sorry, our previous company, and, or at least lately I have been, although, I think I'm paying the price by, overdoing it a little bit, but,
that's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how you do it. My wife's in the same boat. My wife, like, hardly eats. And I'm like, "Bro, if I skip a meal, I'm like, my stomach's hurting." I'm like, "I gotta eat something." Let alone go a day without eating. Forget about it.
I destroyed my, eating habits long, long ago, as
I
you
guess, yeah.
remember from, like, "Does he ever eat lunch?" You know?
My wife actually made 'cause a video now maybe we'll talk cheeses. So my wife made, it's like a chicken cordon bleu casserole. She saw a video for it on Instagram or something. It
A
was actually
casserole? I love chicken cordon bleu, but, a
yeah.
casserole?
It was
What else is in it?
diced up chicken, ham, forget the use, like, sour cream and some kinda cream of chicken soup, like, as a coating, and then you cover or no,
Okay,
you
yeah.
cover it with Swiss cheese, and then some cream and then some Ritz crackers on top, and you bake it, and it was actually killer because I'm not the biggest fan
Mm,
of Swiss cheese. Um, I mean, like, maybe, like Swiss cheese on on a mushroom burger, I dig, but I'm not the
yeah.
biggest fan of Swiss cheese, but this really took away from that bitterness taste of the Swiss cheese, so it was delicious. Swiss, not my favorite. Where do you stand on the cheese? Yeah, no, there's a lot of comments to catch up with. A lot of talk about
Mhm.
burgers still and hot dogs.
As you
Yeah,
can see by
definitely.
my head, my screen's all the way over to the side, or at least
Ah,
the comments are.
yeah, that's when I use Worcestershire sauce. Is Worcestershire sauce and soy sauce and brown sugar to make like a marinade or a sauce or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I've done.
Oh, that does sound good.
Yep,
I would also say that, what did Melanie say? Dijon, soy, Worcestershire, and brown sugar. Wow.
yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what's your favorite type of cheese?
Are you talking for crackers or are you talking on sandwiches?
Yeah, I guess there's a mix of I guess, yeah,
Yeah,
depends.
so
Different cheese
you
for
gotta
different
be,
things.
yeah, different cheese,
On
different things,
sandwiches, you
different
go with
nights for different
American
nights.
cheese. On crackers, you go with cheddar cheese or any other kind of cheese.
Um, well, not necessarily. Some sandwiches, let's start with the basic grilled cheese sandwich. For me, regular American cheese, yes. Although, have you ever had a Swiss cheese grilled cheese sandwich?
No,
It's an
since I don't like
acquired
yeah,
taste,
since I don't like Swiss, I
but
could see not digging it, but
it's
I could
once
see
in a
some
blue
people will.
moon just to give it a shot. It's certainly the texture is different and it's stringy.
Mhm.
In a way that American cheese is not. American cheese, you could pull a little bit if you, separate it like those old commercials used to
See,
do.
I'm not nuts about American cheese. I mean, I like it, but now also too, are you getting Kraft singles or are you getting deli counter cheese?
Nobody gets Kraft singles in their right mind.
Alright,
Don't
good.
get Kraft singles.
Kraft
If
singles
you
is
do,
garbage.
please see a therapist quickly, and they will tell you that any food that's wrapped in plastic that still looks like it's wrapped in plastic, when you remove the plastic, there's something wrong with it, and it
There
tastes like plastic. Oh my
there's a
god.
pizza joint by me where my wife ordered loaded fries, and it was literally I mean, sure, it was, like, also, like, 10 o'clock at night when the place closes at 10:30, but
Okay.
it was fries with, like, literally a couple of slabs of Kraft singles thrown on top, and some ranch and some not even cooked bacon thrown in the oven for about 2 minutes. So, like, it's not even like you could grab a fry and get some cheese with it too, because it was just, like, not even melted Kraft singles laid on top of these fries. Oh my god, I wanted to fling it against the wall. I'm like, "Hey, what is" if I was at the restaurant and saw that, I would've been like, "What is this? Huh? Who made this? Get them out here right now."
No,
Oh
no,
god.
no. Get the 5-year-old. Yeah, 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 the
Yeah,
kid.
exactly.
Because evidently, an adult doesn't know.
Yeah, did a kid make this while you weren't paying attention with his fucking Kraft singles? Oh, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Kraft singles. Ugh, blech, blech.
Anyway,
No.
I think that
Always
does make
deli
the
counter
best grilled
cheese.
cheese. And obviously, when I ask what you put on the grilled cheese sandwich, do you put
Wait,
anything
wait,
on it?
put on a grilled cheese sandwich?
There are some people who put pickles on it,
No. Bacon,
and I put mustard on mine,
but mustard on your grilled cheese sandwich?
always,
See, I feel like
ever
that's
since I
not
was a kid.
like on it. So you put mustard
In
on the
it, you
bread
put in
in
it.
it. That's what I mean.
Yes, you put it in it. On it, you put grape jelly.
What?
I've
Wait,
told
wait,
you
wait,
this
wait,
before.
wait, wait,
A
wait.
grilled cheese sandwich
Here we
is
go. Okay.
especially if
So
for a kid,
so wait,
um,
wait, wait.
you
Wait,
put
wait, wait.
mustard on
No,
the
no, stop.
inside and you put
Stop,
grape
stop.
jelly on the top.
Let me get an understanding of this here. Okay. So here we go. Grilled cheese sandwich. So let's just say, okay, we're not frying it yet.
Waiting for the
Bread,
comment board to light up.
bread, cheese, mustard, bread, fry it, and then put jelly on it.
Yes,
On your mustard grilled cheese, you put jelly on it.
yes, and
You
then you get
cannot be
sweet
serious.
and sorta sour, I guess? Sweet and, depending
Here
on the
we go.
mustard, although yellow mustard is typical for this. Uh,
I oh my god, you're killing me, Scott. Mustard, grape jelly,
I
no.
know, I know you prefer strawberry jelly. I
Pat
do
says that
apologize. I
Pat
just
says
prefer
that's
grape
not right.
instead.
Now here, Bert says jelly with an exclamation point. Like, is that an exclamation point with a question mark, or an exclamation point like an emphasis on yes, jelly?
I think he's just a little startled, perhaps.
I used to do butter on the outside. Mayo is the move on the
No,
outside.
no,
Yes.
I have tried it with mayo, and it just tastes off.
So now it makes the bread. I don't know. I don't know if there's something to bread makes it a
It
little crispier.
does, it makes the bread
My mother told me.
toast very evenly
Yeah, my mother told me
and
that
very
trick. Use
nicely,
mayo, not butter.
but, it tastes a little off.
And
Like,
you, so it
yeah, I didn't really wanna have a hint of egg in my grilled cheese because that's what mayo is. It's got,
so
egg in it.
grape jelly.
I just prefer grape. I mean, any kind of jelly that
Eh,
you want, but, I prefer grape. I don't like strawberry jelly very much.
See, I like strawberry jelly.
It's
I
got
like
that
both jellies.
unexpected sweetness that just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, "In a really weird way, this works, but if I tell anybody about it, I'm a who called 911?" That's the kind of, problem that you would get. So,
What?
no, I
So,
was just kidding.
I how
But,
did you come across this concoction
when I
as
was a
well?
kid, my mom made it as one of those things, and I just assumed at the time that, "Oh, this is a standard American dish," like the pepper steak was something that you cook and eat. I mean, it don't get me wrong, it's also, I had oatmeal for breakfast.
Pat says,
That
"Who is
that's
this guy?"
that's
Have
common.
you've been watching Scott, you know he's off the wall with this shit. Ugh.
I won't even talk about the
Why don't you just throw Pop Rocks in there too?
they weren't invented
Subverts
at
it.
the time.
Yeah. But it's so weird. Why would you think that? Jelly with
Uh,
the with mustard. What the fuck?
because it's got that weird combination that sort of works.
Which I get.
Why
I
would
get
you
the
have chocolate?
sweet and
Why
sour
would
and
you have
bitter stuff is
chocolate
very
and
good.
put salt in it?
Oh,
But
no,
it works, doesn't it?
I get this sour and salty combination and or sweet and salty combination for
Yeah.
sure.
This
But
isn't that
mustard
different.
and jelly?
Yeah.
Uh, I I I don't know. I you would have to make it for me, and then I would try it. I am not
And I would say, definitely try it. Or
That that says I'm laughing my ass off. This is great.
this is a real meal that I've eaten, and I did my best to get my kids to try it.
That's
They
insanity.
just went,
You need to be locked you need to be locked up.
I think Kevin tried it, my younger son, and he was, like, because he would try everything that my older son, Richard, wouldn't.
Okay.
Because Kevin wanted to be the daring one, and Richard was like, "Screw that, I'm playing it safe here. Don't ruin my taste buds."
Ugh.
So, and even Kevin was sort of like, "Eh, not so much."
Okay, you ready? So, I have a note in my phone from May 7th of 2019
Oh,
titled "Food Fight Podcast." So this is how long ago this has come up, and all these
and keep
different
in mind, May 7th, it's just 2 days ago.
oh, that's true.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
all
weird?
these different combinations and shit and different stuff to talk about. Yeah, look at this.
The
I've got
anniversary
I
of
don't
the
know if you
Lusitania disaster.
look
What
at
was that?
all of these different topics I have for different things to discuss.
And does it mention, grilled cheese with jelly and, mustard?
Yeah, no, that's a new one. That's not on there.
No, that's not on there, Scott. I don't know how that didn't make the cut.
The Temple of Doom dinner scene I have on here.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Root beer versus birch beer. Scott
Birch beer.
hates I hate root beer. I don't think I've ever had birch beer. Scott hates Sprite is one of what these are is one of these what these are titled.
I don't hate it, really, per se, but I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna make that face.
mu mustard
Peanut
and
butter
jelly
and
is not the new peanut butter and chocolate. Sorry, Scott. Yeah, not happening.
didn't claim it to be.
What
I just
do
said it
you
was
eat?
unexpected.
Oh, it's unexpected,
Yes.
alright. Do you eat, bread and butter pickles?
Oh, which ones are which?
The sweet
Yeah,
ones are bread and butter pickles.
oh, I used to eat them a lot more than I do now. I don't really fancy them. To be honest, I don't really like pickle chips all that much any longer. I like a good dill pickle. The spear, I think they're called spears, right? Those are
Yeah.
the long ones that are cut.
Yep.
Those I don't like at all because they're normally over soaked, and as
Okay.
a result, they tend to be sort of like
I can understand that.
gushy or yeah, gushy is a good word for it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I
See,
do like pickles.
I see,
I just don't like them on the sandwich itself per se. Occasionally, there will be a really good burger where pickles just make it pop. I'm trying to remember the last time it happened, but it was like, "Oh, wow, that really did work." Oh,
see
no, it wasn't. It was, those, southern chicken sandwiches.
okay,
You've seen that, right?
maybe.
Chicken
See
sandwich, but with pickles on it. So that's southern style. I think it's called. There's a slice of lettuce on it, a little bit of mayo, and a pickle, and the pickle really makes the sandwich pop. It's like, "Oh, wow, unexpected, nice, in a good way."
Yeah, see, I
But
don't pref
otherwise, I like them on the side.
yeah, exactly, like, but
Yeah.
admittedly, I've never really dabbled with a pickle on a sandwich, but I like bread and butter pickles. I don't like dill pickles, I don't like garlic pickles, I like bread and butter pickles, and there's a lot of folks I know that don't like bread and butter pickles and only like dill pickles. So, I don't know what's supposed to go on a sandwich. I feel like a bread and butter pickle on a sandwich is better because you got a little bit of a sweeter taste, but again,
Keep in mind too, it's also to offset or go with potato chips, and back in
yeah.
the day, that was the go-to instead of french fries, was, uh, potato chips more often than not. Even now in, Panera's, you'll get a side bag of little potato chips when you get a sandwich.
Yeah, there's, like, an old, like, country style restaurant by me that does chips instead of well, they have
Yep.
fries too, but they do those, homemade fried chips, which are pretty delicious, and they have the
No fried
best
chips.
Caesar dressing that I've ever had in my life.
Oh,
Yep.
interesting.
What about salad dressings? Where do you stand on ranch dressing?
On a sandwich or
No,
just, on salad?
just in
I
general.
like ranch dressing just fine. It also makes a very good chip dip if you, have to go, inexpensive and old school for
I
chip dips.
I make a pretty awesome homemade ranch dressing, and, it's almost more
Schwa?
like a dip, though, because when you leave it in the fridge, it really thickens up pretty good.
Sounds
So it's
good.
more like a dip than a dressing. Um, but yeah, it's good and it's not as sweet. Because after having this and I had, like, some ranch, Hidden Valley Ranch is awful. Like, I thought Hidden Valley Ranch was, like, the staple of ranch dressing, and I had it, and it was so sweet, it was horrendous.
Well, that's why the valley is hidden. If you found it, then it would expose all of the flaws in it, but that's
Yeah, I
sort of a joke
guess.
that didn't work.
Caesar
Uh,
with or without anchovies? I don't know if I've ever had one that explains the difference. I don't know.
anchovies is a standard ingredient in Caesar salad when you get it at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much if you get it in a bottle or something or in a jar. Um, it
Yeah,
is a
that I don't
little
know.
off-putting if you're not used to it, but that is traditionally the way that it was made. I mean, it is called a Caesar salad because it is named after Julius Caesar, who sort of liked it. Back in Roman times, they had this fish sauce that, was evidently just absolutely disgusting, but they put it on everything.
Already sounds disgusting, fish sauce.
Yeah,
Ken's is not bad. Yeah, Ken's makes good blue cheese as well. Blue cheese is
I
another
like
thing you gotta
blue
be
cheese.
scarce about. Yeah,
Blue
blue cheese is my
cheese,
go-to.
it's a guilty pleasure because it takes away so much of the goodness that is a salad as far as nutritional value goes, but it does taste delicious. If
Mhm.
you don't overdo it, it's a perfect complement to a really fine salad, I think.
There you go. If I remember correctly, Bert says, if I remember correctly, I think Hidden Valley created the first ranch dressing. I mean, which I think, yeah, makes because that's all Hidden Valley makes. Hidden Valley doesn't make um, any other type of dressing. They just make different kinds of ranch dressing. But yeah, it's not good. I used to think it was good. It's not good.
We eat a lot of salad here, and, so we
I need to
use a
eat
lot
more
of different
myself.
dressings. And, but, just to give you an example, when I went looking for, to see if we because I'd run out of blue cheese dressing, so I wanted to see what else was in there, and I told my wife, why do we have 8" yeah, 8 different bottles of ranch dressing?" Or
Yep.
am I getting it wrong? Maybe it was 3 ranch dressing, but 8 different oil and vinegar combinations kinda thing. But they're all from different companies, and there were at least 3 different, not just brands of ranch dressing, but, like, flavors like, ranch light or,
Yeah, they have that now. But plus
I
they're
it's
all different. A different every different company has a different tasting ranch dressing. Blue
and
cheese
are there
crumbles with
any that are
balsamic
better than
is
others?
different.
What is the
Ranch,
best ranch dressing that isn't, I guess, Hidden Valley?
I would say Ken's. Ken's is up there.
I would
Wishbone's
agree.
a
I
little
think Ken's
sweet.
pretty good.
I'll tell you what Wishbone does good is French dressing, deluxe French dressing, where it's like orange. The orange colored French dressing
What do
is
you put
good.
French dressing on? I used to eat it, but now I just like, yeah.
Salad.
I know that, but, there are different types of salads. I mean, do you use
And
it on,
the kind with lettuce in it.
what kind of
Uh,
lettuce? Are you talking
I
arugula? Are you talking
I don't
iceberg?
know, whatever.
Are you talking alfalfa or, spinach or all of the other kind of things you can put there as a
All of the above.
leafy vegetable?
When my mother used
Who
to
are
make a
you reading?
salad I'm just looking at the comments coming in.
Oh, I was gonna
Um,
Denny's.
so yeah, like my mother used to make a salad and actually cut up little cubes of cheddar cheese in the salad with French dressing. Killer.
We the little cubes of cheese we had in, junior high in, the salad day. Salad day was always the same day as sheet pizza day, which was Fridays.
What? Really? Yeah, fried pizza is still Friday. That's a staple
Yeah.
of grade school, and my kids they live for pizza
Making
day.
it to Friday because of that.
But
And
salad day as
s
well, that's news to me.
no, 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 you always had a salad when you had, pizza. Now, I don't know what they do now, but back in the day, whatever they had was what you ate, just
Oh, yeah.
one thing.
Oh, now
I
there's
hear high
fucking
schools have
options and
stations now and things where, they just didn't have that. It's like, they had, like, turkey on a stick day,
yeah.
and I'm not making that up. Turkey on a stick.
Mhm.
That's what it's called. If you think of, what are those, hot dogs on sticks? They're, cheese dogs?
Corn dogs?
Corn dogs. You think of a corn dog, think of it with, turkey instead of, beef product.
So it was
A
a deep
and
fried turkey log?
Yeah,
Okay.
only in Lincoln Park, New Jersey.
Yeah,
For
that's
those
a
of
new one
you
for me.
who doubt me and want to look it up, check in with them, see if they're still doing that. They also made the best grilled cheese sandwiches I've ever had in my life.
Hmm, interesting.
In,
Went to
high
school.
school, actually, Boonton High School, Boonton, New Jersey. Way to go.
I
It
remember when my
had,
high school.
crispy crust. I mean, absolutely crunchy crust every single time you had one, and molten cheese in the middle. How?
Mm,
How did it always come out so perfectly good? I have tried to
especially when they make
recreate
it
it as best I could, and I can't.
when they're making, 5 by 10 trays of it at a time. Um,
I
See, I remember when
it's a
they
combination of the temperature, and something that they put on the bread to toast it with. I don't know.
when I was in high school, they started putting out, cheesy crust, cheese stuffed crust for the pizza. That was a game changer. Everybody was getting pizza then. It was like a cheesy breadstick on the end of your pizza slice. It was amazing.
Well, they did that with the double stuffed, crust pizzas at Pizza Hut that one,
Mhm. Yeah,
promotional year.
speaking of pizzas, yeah, I couldn't even tell you where there's a Pizza Hut anymore, but yeah, speaking of pizzas, are you I mean, being from Jersey, Pat says, "You didn't know any better back then, Scott. That's why
About what?
everything was so great." Um,
Oh,
I s
hey, if it was all you had,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong,
be
my college was so
beggars
different
can't be
from every
choosers.
college you see now, and so when they had grilled cheese day, that was it. That was all you had for lunch. You either had the grilled cheese or you had, um, ugh, oh, it was terrible. Their grilled cheese sandwiches at college was, it's like, "Oh, did you bother to melt that cheese?" And a slice of ham. You wanted it without the ham? All they would tell you, "Well, just take it off because it comes right
Yeah.
off." That was their explanation. And yeah, it did come right off because neither of them were really heated, but it left that taste of ham on there, and you were like, "Yeah."
I got a few things coming to mind right now. But anyway, so I guess since we're talking
So what
pizza,
else what about pizza?
so are you a
Yes, grilled cheese with
uh
tomato soup.
see, I'm not a huge fan of tomato soup, but
Well, cream of tomato. I mean,
man, we got so
nobody,
many things to talk about. I want to talk about yeah,
pizza.
so many
Okay,
things to talk
well,
about.
let's
I'm
stick
gonna
with
start
pizza. Are you talking about fresh pizza? Are you talking about restaurant pizza, frozen pizza? or chain pizza?
Well, yeah, are you I mean, from being from Jersey, are you one of those people that is like, "Domino's, I wouldn't touch that shit. It's terrible."
Domino's is terrible and it is shit, and I wouldn't touch it. And I would recommend that anybody who has access to real pizza not to go anywhere near them.
One of those folks, okay. What
What
about
what do you
pizza?
mean one of those
What
folks?
about
It's
Pizza
true.
Hut?
Pizza Hut, I think, is the best of the so-called chains. But they're harder to find. They seem to be closing all over the place
Yeah,
now.
I can't find I'll tell you what, pizza or Domino's, because there's a Domino's in my town, Pizza Hut, I couldn't even tell you what is a pizza, I miss Pizza Hut.
Well,
Um,
and before you were even old enough, back in my day, when you went to Pizza Hut, you could order a pitcher of beer
oh, yeah, I think
with your pizza.
you could get bottles of beer at,
No, no, they
Pizza
would
Hut.
bring it to you in a pitcher.
So, yeah, I don't remember them having any taps at Pizza Hut, but, I remember when you
It
get
wasn't
bottles of
very
beer.
good, but it was nice. I don't remember bottles of beer,
Yeah. Um,
but,
so there's a Domino's by me.
I'm
And
sorry.
see, I tell you
Well,
what.
which is worse? Actually, when you're saying Domino's, so I'm saying, like, well, let's find out which one is worse. You've got the big 3, right, of the bad chain pizzas: Domino's, Papa John's, and, Caesar,
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars.
I've had Little Caesars once, I don't remember it, I don't think it was great. Papa John's I've never had. Domino's now, uh, this Scott has turned the comments back in his favor. So,
Well, all of these people are from New Jersey, so they all know that the chains, are what the rest of the country who don't know what New York pizza tastes like
yes, that
are
is true.
all, thinking like, and I've said this anecdote before, and I will apologize because, again, I'm gonna mention my mother.
So, I've
My
mentioned my mother a ton of
parents
times, it's okay.
well, actually, this isn't her fault, she didn't make this. So but, my parents at one point moved to New Hampshire, and in New Hampshire, they had a beautiful house on Lake Winnipesaukee, just like in What About Bob? Remember the movie? Lake
Mhm,
Winnipesaukee Bob, Richard Dreyfuss and, Bill Murray.
I'm familiar with it.
And, beautiful lake, and they're in the middle of nowhere, and they like pizza. Being from New Jersey, they know what it's supposed to taste like, so my parents, had taken us like, "Oh, they have new owners," and they got it. They understand now, because it was always sort of pitiful before that. I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay. So where is this place?" "Well, it's in Portsmouth." "Okay, Portsmouth. That's a big town. Maybe they do have an outlet there. Maybe there's, somebody who's from the New York area who's left and gone somewhere to retire to and decided like, 'Oh, the pizza around here sucks. Let me open a real pizza place.'" So we go there, we bring it home, and we taste it, and I'm like, "Oh." And then my son turns to me and he just looks and he says, "Chuck E. Cheese," because it tasted like Chuck E. Cheese pizza. And like, "Oh, it does."
I feel like you can
So
enjoy
for
them all.
those of you listening who aren't from around here or may not know, Chuck E. Cheese, is that a national thing? Chuck E. Cheese still?
I think so. There's
With
probably a
the
lot less of
animatronic
them.
rats, dancing around, it's
Yeah.
a popular place where you take kids. And their pizza tastes sort of like I was gonna say joke pizza, but,
I don't I think I've had Chuck E. Cheese pizza once or twice. Better than I would have thought. Is it great? No, but better
it's
than I would have
sort of
expected.
like, almost as good as Domino's.
Yeah. Alright, so let me break
So in
this
other
down.
words,
Yeah, well, because that's the thing, you
my
can't
poor mother.
compare
But, I
Domino
to give my mother credit, the other pizza places around, were awful.
yeah, my
And,
there's not a lot of good pizza places in my town. It's funny, when I moved here, my dad picked up a pizza at a place called The Pizza Place. It was fucking awful. The worst pizza I ever had. I'm like, "Great, this is what I'm in for, moving to this town." And then my wife used to work there. So I told her
oh,
we got pizza from there, and before I could even tell her, she was like, "Ooh, do you have the pizza there? The pizza's terrible." Like, "Oh, great, thanks, now I know." So there's not a lot of great pizza in my area. There's some good pizza. There was some see, I like the thin, crispy crust type pizza. And it
which
was a
isn't
place
really New York style.
No.
or is it?
Well, it kind of is. Styles, well, Chicago style is completely different, but no, it's not
Yeah.
a thick, doughy pizza. Yeah, maybe like New York style is kind of like thin and crispy style.
Well, it's thin, but it's not crispy because New York pizza, you fold it in order
Yeah,
to eat a slice.
it's you see again.
Crispy pizza cracks if you do it, and you're sort of like, "Well, what the heck was that?"
See, to me, it's
And
all
there are some
different.
people who like that,
Yeah, it's
you
all
know.
different classifications of pizza. So let me go back to Domino's. I was
Okay.
get again because it's just faster. Domino's is fucking done and at my house in less than 30 minutes, and it's great. So when I'm in a pinch and my kids don't give a shit, so we order Domino's. They got the app, everything. There was a bunch of times where it came out like shit, but they changed their game. However,
I know
I
they did.
digress. I was getting hand tossed for a while because I thought like the hand tossed was the Domino's staple. And Pizza Hut had the deep dish. I started getting deep dish from Domino's.
Hold a deep dish from Pizza Hut? Are you talking similar to Pizzeria Uno's deep dish or Chicago style deep
Are
dish?
you kidding me? Like deep dish Pizza Hut was Pizza Hut pizza.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. You're
Yeah,
probably right. It's just been a long time since I've had Pizza Hut,
yeah,
and
but yeah.
less long that I've had, Pizzeria Uno.
So I had this Domino's deep dish, and it was not bad at all. It reminded me of Pizza Hut. It was good. Can I compare it to the shit that's in the city? No, of course not. It's completely different. However, I could still enjoy it. Still good. And it's funny too, there's guys on like I've discussed it on
And
Twitter and
like you
shit.
said, the how you can tell how good it tastes, it's fast.
Well, I don't care if it's still if it tastes good, it tastes good. But it's funny because like I've interacted with friends I've made, across the country, and when I put a picture of it on Twitter, and there's like a dude from Minneapolis who was like, "That shit looks delicious, man. I'll house that in a second." I'm like, "Yeah, oh, that's right. I forgot you're not from around here. You don't
You
know what
don't
good
even have to
pizza
go that
is."
far either. I went to college in upstate New York, and, it was a good 7-hour drive. But halfway there, there was, oh, no, that was a different college. Where am I thinking? I went to SUNY Binghamton and, for a year, and, so Binghamton, New York, okay? That's not
Mhm.
that far from New York City. It's what, 2, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more. And, so we ordered pizza there, and, it's a pizza place. You get it, and it looks like the guy is a little confused as to what a pizza is, because he evidently has fixed on the word pie, because pizza pie, and this guy, when he's doing recipes, has thought of like, "Oh, maybe it should remind people of a pie. Therefore, I will raise the crust up like a pie crust would, and then just put in the ingredients inside of it, unlike pizza," right?
Ugh.
And then the next thing you know is like, okay, and then he puts the cheese on, but you have a feeling he doesn't really know how to put cheese on a pizza because it doesn't
See, that's
look right.
what Melanie said Papa John's does. Puts toppings under the cheese. What the hell is wrong with them? Yeah.
Well, that's yeah, yeah.
I can't
Anyway,
stand that.
ugh.
Go ahead.
When it finished, it came out and it looked like an island in the middle of I don't know, this round plate with an island in the middle of it, surrounded by a giant pool of oil.
Ugh.
'Cause yeah, and it was like, this was his pizza pie, and I'm like,
I
"Oh,
can't
we're
stand
so
that
far from New York City."
regional shit. Yeah, I know, right? You're not even that far. Yeah. I remember I
Oh,
was
yeah,
in
well, this wasn't regional shit. This was just somebody who didn't know how to make pizza.
yeah, I know it wasn't even that far.
Yeah, and
I
now,
remember
at our old place of work, I already knew what Chicagoans think of Pizzeria Uno, because Pizzeria Uno is a New Jersey, is it just New Jersey?
I don't
Based
know.
pizzeria place that makes Chicago style pizza. Okay. It's
Mhm.
deep dish pizza where they, again, put the ingredients on the wrong end. So the cheese is underneath everything.
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around? I can't
No, the
remember.
cheese is, like, on the bottom, and then the sauce
Yeah.
is on
Yeah. Yeah.
top.
So you're like, "Is this a pizza, or did you just boil me up a whole bunch of spaghetti and you forgot to put the spaghetti in? It's just sauce," you know? But pizzeria, I like it. I think it's pretty good.
I don't think
But,
I've ever had a
I
pizza from
had,
Uno's.
somebody in one of my training classes who had, moved from Chicago, and I knew this from the manager who'd hired him. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, he moved from Chicago, he's moved to Philadelphia, and he really wants the job, so he's going to commute from Philadelphia to where we worked.
What?
Yeah, I'm
I don't
like,
remember that.
"Really? And you hired this guy? You think he's actually gonna do that commute for more than a week before he
Exactly.
leaves?" But
Stupid.
anyway, nice guy, really smart. I mean, smart, and really good. He quit, but not because of the commute. He quit because he was that smart
Because
that
he hated the
he was.
job.
No, no, he didn't hate it. He was just way overqualified to be doing it, and he found something else that paid a lot better and was more commensurate with his skills that
Pat,
we were
what's on a
hiring.
breakfast pizza? Sorry, Scott, go ahead. While Pat's doing that.
Oh, so real quick, I'd mentioned to him, they were talking about regional pizza, and I said, "But we have Chicago pizza, we have Pizzeria Uno," and the look on his face of horror,
Oh, I'm
as if
sure.
I had just stabbed his grandparents or something, was just a look to behold about just how much different and better Chicagoans think their pizza is than anything we can do on our side. I am now dying to try a real Chicago pizza.
Yeah, me too. Some of them look
And if
good.
you remember the Jim Gaffigan show? Remember comedian Jim Gaffigan?
I don't, but
The
you've
guy who does
talked
all
about
the
it.
food jokes and everything? He a bucket.
I know who he
Uh,
is, but I never.
well, he had a TV series that lasted for a season or 2 before his, wife got very, very sick,
Mhm.
and, he basically canceled it to just spend time with her and the kids. In that show, he actually goes and orders a frozen, deep dish Chicago pizza and has it sent to him. It's the whole, episode is him just waiting to devour and make this gigantic pizza that he's ordered that's come packed in dry ice, waiting to eat it. And he keeps getting stopped at all these points, and it's an interesting episode.
Hmm.
I digress. So there are regional pizzas,
Yeah,
and
that's like somebody saying, "What is it?
so
What is it?
what
That
is,
chain, Famiglia or something?" Like, if you go to Six Flags, there's Famiglia Pizza or something like that. It's like New York
Six
style pizza.
Flags?
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
What is it, $20 a slice or
Mhm.
something? Six
I don't know.
Flags.
It's a chain, but it's like New or maybe I saw it down in Florida, New York
I
style
mean, they
pizza, man.
strip
I'm like,
search
I've
you to make
never
sure
heard
you're
of
not
it.
bringing food in with you, uh, so to speak.
So, breakfast pizza, Pat said is good. Scrambled eggs, bacon, and cheese, and then was it just normal pizza dough? Now, yeah, Hawaiian pizza, I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah, Hawaiian pizza is always, a deal breaker, and it really shows how the crowd is gonna go whenever we bring up, Hawaiian pizza.
See?
So, Mike, Hawaiian pizza? Yes or no?
I'm trying to think if I if excuse me, I'm trying to think if I've had it, and I did end up liking it, but it's not something that I'm gonna order myself. Never gonna order Hawaiian pizza.
I always thought it sounded terrible. And then,
Mhm.
on one of the pizza luncheons we'd had at our old place of work, somebody ordered a Hawaiian pizza. I think it probably was Wayne, and I tried it for
Yeah,
the
it sounds
first
like
time,
Wayne.
and it was different cheese. I thought it was just mozzarella with other stuff on top of it, but no, it was more like a goat cheese kinda thing, tangy,
See, that sounds like
uh
you're putting in the work for it too, rather than just putting pineapple on a regular slice of pizza.
and it tasted different, but it was good. I really liked it. I'm like, "Wow." And the sweetness of the pineapple on top of cheese is almost like putting jelly on top of cheese? A fruit on top of cheese?
Let's not go nuts. They should not mixing it with fucking mustard,
Huh? Huh?
alright? Yeah, why don't you just dip it why don't you just spread fucking grape jelly on your pizza and then dip it in a cup of
Ah, I
mustard?
just about blew your mind, and now
Blech!
you're scared. You're just a little scared. You're
Blech!
backing off like, maybe Scott's got a point. No, 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 no. No, no,
No.
no, no, no. No, no, stop it, stop
Again,
it.
I
Yeah, okay.
understand the sweet and salty deal, like, that's what makes a McGriddle so good, because you got those bursts of syrup and sweetness in the thing, and you got the bitterness of the bacon and the egg, it makes for a good tasting sandwich, 'cause that sweet and bitterness always
I
works
think
good.
it's too sweet, but I get you. I do get you.
Yeah,
I've had a
however
McGriddle twice.
I'd still I still don't yeah, I still no, I'm not seeing it. Mustard and jelly is not happening.
You're just so focused on the condiments and the things that you're used to. You're not used to thinking outside the box a little bit. Like, my well, here's a for instance. I know more than a couple of people who hate condiments, can't stand condiments,
Mhm.
and in particular, mustard. My wife hates mustard. However, she will joyfully bake with it, and so we have to have mustard in the house.
Wait. Bake with it or
Yeah.
like oh,
As an ingredient in something that you're cooking.
okay.
So,
So is
or
she cooking
hidden
with it
in it.
or is she baking? Like, is she making fucking cupcakes with mustard in it?
She could be for all I know, but if it's an ingredient that's called for, it's carefully ducked in. Think Dijon
Yeah,
mustard,
okay.
because Melanie
Still
mentioned that,
still the same thing.
and I thought, like, "No, it's not. It tastes very different. It still
It
has
does.
mustard seeds as the base,
So
but
you're using spicy brown mustard and grape jelly?
I have.
Oh god.
I've mixed it up. Remember back in the day, all you ever had or heard of was, yellow mustard. And people never, ever ate any of the others.
Yeah.
But, try
Now
putting,
nobody gets
spicy
yellow
brown
mustard.
mustard on your hot dog one of these days.
What's that?
Not bad.
No,
Try
it's good.
putting yeah,
I feel like I'm an adult now, so
even
I eat
Dijon,
spicy
on a
mustard
hot
and
dog tastes
relish.
delicious, and on
I don't think I've
cocktail
had
wieners and
Dijon.
things, they're just
Oh,
delicious.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like as an adult now, I've grown up and surpassed ketchup and gone to mustard and relish, even though I still like ketchup. A little bit of a
And we're
sweet taste.
forgetting the fact that Melanie, in particular, said mustard and ketchup on a hamburger.
Yeah, who does that? Smashburger does that? Smashburger does that, but it's a little too much, mustard taste for
The
me.
original was McDonald's.
Yes.
Back when they had the original burger before they invented the Quarter Pounder, and I
Yeah,
remember when that
they
came
might
out.
still do that if you get one of those cheap burgers with the
I think they've
onion
mixed
bits
it up
on it,
now.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a few years ago, I'd ordered, off the dollar menu, a burger, and I wanted to try it the same way I had was a kid, so I ordered it with nothing. When I was a kid, I was so picky, I didn't even want ketchup on it, and so no ketchup, no, cheese even, just a burger on a bun, and we're done.
Jesus.
And, well, I loved the taste of hamburger so much when I was a kid
Okay.
that I thought all of the rest of it hid that. And so, the hamburger tasted kinda blah, so I had it, and I had it without onions because when I was a kid, I would always order without onions. So I had that
Yeah,
little
me
tiny
too.
$1 hamburger from McDonald's without the onions, and it still came with salt and pepper, mustard, and ketchup. And you could taste the salt and pepper.
Mhm.
And I can't remember the last time I ate a hamburger from McDonald's where you could taste the salt and pepper, the seasoning, without having it covered in all the other glop and things. And,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, they didn't put bacon on everything. You know, the only place that offered bacon on a burger was, I think, Roy Rogers fast food restaurant, or was the first to put it on a burger because otherwise it doesn't really go.
Mm. Yeah.
Bacon doesn't really go on a hamburger. The 2
I feel
don't
like it
taste right together,
I feel
and
like it
we've gotten
goes
so used to it that we just like, "Oh, you want bacon with that? Yeah, of course, bacon," you know?
well, yeah, now I mean, yeah, 'cause Scott or
Bring
Pat brought up
bacon.
Wendy's does it on their singles. I think I forget what he's referring to, but see, but Wendy's to me does ketchup and mayo on their burger, and that's what I like. Um,
Golden spicy brown mustard on hot dog. Yum.
yeah. Oh, and that's Mitch. Hi, Mitch.
Hey!
Thanks for watching. Personally, I grew up on golden spicy brown mustard on my hot dog. Yeah, I mean, like I said, as a kid, it was ketchup. As I'm a grown adult now, I'm mustard and relish.
I was gonna say, what about relish? I've tried it once,
It's good.
and I should
Sweet relish
probably
with
go
mustard.
back to it. I just never, wanted to go near it again. But
You
as a
know,
kid, you don't like to put stuff when you're like, "Ooh,"
no, like onions on a hot dog. Even now, I don't think I'll ever have onions on a hot dog.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
it
One
tastes good
thing,
together. What about, sauerkraut?
no. Ugh, God, no.
I wanna try it again.
I don't even want to go near
It's been so
sauerkraut.
long since I've tried it, I really wanna give it a try again.
Indian relish. What's in Indian relish again? I feel like Indian relish is something good.
Hmm.
So Pat mentioned Indian relish. How
Oh,
about
that's, oh, what has that got in it? It's some
so
sort of, like, remoulade or
my daughter puts ketchup on her hot dog. I'm waiting for DNA results to see if she can be my daughter. So speaking of onions on burgers and stuff too,
Yeah.
um, White Castle. So do you like White Castle?
I don't. Because I don't like onions, and White Castle, it's they almost have more onions than burger on their burgers.
Oh, yeah, and if you order them without onions, because they make them like, pre-made with the onions. If you order them without onions,
Yeah.
it's like they pretty much take it and they just wipe it off on the counter, the corner of the counter, and then slap it together. So here's the thing, so growing
That's
up
gross. And actually, without it, you have to see what the burger looks like. You're like, "Is that a sponge?"
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's got all those holes in it, and you're like,
So,
"Oh."
when I was a kid and me and my dad would take me to White Castle,
You
he
had
would
White Castle when you were a kid? I never saw one till I was, like, 40.
very rare because there was some spots in Bergen County that had it that he would take me to. So, he would order because it's funny because when he was just over, you weren't high enough for you to not like White Castle. Um, so when we would go to White Castle, my dad would order milk with his White Castle. He'd be like, "That's
They
because"
offered it, huh?
yeah, it's a thing,
Wow.
apparently. Oh, I believe Mitch goes to White Castle on Valentine's Day. Um,
We actually
anyway.
have one 10 minutes from here now, so
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah.
uh,
Is it on the
in the
one on Route
middle
10
of,
you're talking about?
yeah.
Oh, fucking love
They
White
they they
Castle.
had a line wrapped around the building for the first 3 months after they opened,
Mm.
but now you can go oh, and it's 24 hours a day now.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. I love me some
I
White
was gonna
Castle.
say, can you imagine going there
Yep,
and getting one of those sacks?
yep. So yeah,
I've
so
had
you
them since, even with onions, and they're not bad, but your
no,
stomach can only take a couple of time before it just says like,
yeah,
"What the fuck
and
did you just do?"
here's exactly what I'm getting at. So my dad, he grew up on because I guess his dad used to take him where you would drink milk. You'd go to White Castle, you'd drink milk with your White Castle, like, that sounds insane. So, my parents took my kids out, a couple weeks ago, and now, like, when they go out with my kids,
Oh,
they kinda get White Castle, and I asked my dad, I was like, "Did you have milk?" And he was kinda like, No," like, it's not his thing anymore, like, now he kinda grew up and realized, like, "Why would I have milk with my White Castle?" And I told him, and I said, "Well, you know what? I figured it out." Because a long time years and years ago, though, when I was on my own, I went to White Castle because I used to get White Castle and I used to say, "No onions." I get them with no onions, I could eat a lot more of them
yeah.
because the onions do a number on you. So, if you get your White Castle with onions on them, they whoop your ass. You get a lot of acid and indigestion. The reason you
Yeah.
drink milk to counteract the acid and indigestion you're getting from all the
Oh,
onions on your White Castle burger.
okay,
And I
that's
said that and I told it to my dad who, like, told me to drink milk with your White Castle, and he was like, "Oh," like, it never even occurred to him to do that. Granted, I do not order milk when I go to White Castle, I still get a soda, but I don't know, man. If I want to eat a shitload of White Castle and then I don't want the onions to beat me up too bad, that's the move. You order some milk, it's on the menu, and it counteract all those onions beating you up.
They have, chicken sandwiches, for people who are scared of burgers. 'Cause my son's had that, but it wasn't his go-to. So we don't normally go to White Castle.
Yeah, I don't go to White Castle enough. I love White Castle. Absolutely love White
Well,
Castle.
maybe I should pay him a visit again. I don't really do fast food anymore. No more fast food Fridays for me. I only do fast food once every 3 months now, maybe.
Mhm. So,
So, I'm, so different than the person that you knew. I think
yeah.
even,
Well, you got your shit together. That's what I need to do. I have in a quarter mile from my house, I have a Burger King, a Wendy's, a Taco Bell, and a McDonald's, and a Dunkin' Donuts. And yeah, like my kids have probably already had McDonald's more times than I have like in my life because it's so easy. When I was growing up, McDonald's was nowhere near close by, so McDonald's was like a special treat. It's
same
still
here.
it's still a special to them. Like, they don't get it all the time, but yeah, but I mean they've definitely still had it because it's just so convenient. It's right there.
Well, and that's something, that, the pandemic hasn't helped, I think, is, for American habits is the fact that, DoorDash and Uber Eats is
Yeah.
now a thing. So that, people got so used to not going out and you're like, "Oh, pandemic, gotta be careful." Alright, but they're still not going out. And
Mhm.
so you have all of these people working remote who don't even bother to go out to go, even pick up fast food. They just DoorDash it in
Yeah, it just
and
how
never
how
go out
much
to see people.
yeah, soon there's gonna be a service that just feeds you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean, I've
Mitch.
never done DoorDash, and I don't really see any need to.
My wife has discovered it and is getting into it now because it's so convenient.
W
Because
when
also
you
too,
have
like
little kids, there is sometimes a reason that you
yeah,
can't just like, "Alright, everybody get in the car, and let's go down and pick that up and be back in 15 minutes," because
yeah.
you spend more than time in that just getting the car ready.
There's Mitch. Yes, I took my wonderful wife to White Castle years ago for Valentine's Day in a tuxedo. Can this marriage be saved? Mitch, if you took your wife to White Castle and you're still married, that marriage ain't going anywhere, man. That
Yes.
there's nothing breaking that marriage up. Um, I could only dream of such a marriage. Um, but yeah, so like my wife, she doesn't like leaving the house, now currently. And she doesn't she's like rarely gets hungry almost too, like she has almost like
Gotcha.
yeah, like where it's time to eat, like it's like sporadic. Like sometimes she won't be hungry, then all of a sudden she's hungry. So and plus if she's working, it's very easy to have DoorDash and something like totally random that's not even that close by that they drive it to they bring it to.
When you
So
have little kids and the kids are at home while you're working,
yeah.
I think that more or less it's not an excuse. I don't think you need an excuse.
Hence why Domino's was very handy. 'Cause
Yeah.
they deliver it in a half an hour. If I'm in a pinch and my kids are hungry, Domino's, half hour, boom.
But still, do you have any real pizza places near you? Meaning
Oh, yeah.
that,
I have a bunch of
family-run places,
Italian places. The
and they
pizza
don't
is not
deliver?
they
No.
do, but the pizza's not great. Big, thick, doughy type pizza. I mean, they're okay, but they're not great, and
I
honestly
think you've gotten over-refined with this, "It's gotta be thin, thin, thin crust." We have
hey,
a
man,
pizza place
I like
near
what I
us.
like.
When we first moved here, we had a place near us, a pizza place called, End of the Lake Pizza Hut, and we ate there once, and, because we live on the edge of Lake Pecon.
Mhm,
And, it was at the end of the lake. Well, it was, so bad, it was like end of the pizza, there, and they lasted 3 months, I think, after we did it, and it had evidently been sinking, if you don't mind the pun, for I don't know how long before that, and it was replaced by, in the same location, Cambiati's Tomato Pie Pizza.
mhm.
So, yes, this is a shout out for them if anybody cares to. They're not a sponsor or anything, but my wife and kids adore it. It's thin crust pizza. You would love it. And if we ever get you to
Yeah.
get your butt down over here and make us clean the house so that we can, have you over for a nice relaxing meal with you and your family, you would adore the restaurant. The pizza is delicious. I like it, and I don't like thin crust pizza. I just don't regard it as pizza.
Mhm.
So if I don't regard it as pizza, I'd say that's a very tasty dish.
See, yeah, I mean,
And, they have, their 4 cheese pizza. Oh, it is quite good.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
White Castle does weddings. That's news to me.
Really?
Like, yeah, they're that's like a
There's your
thing, man.
wedding memory, for your 3rd anniversary. You're like, "Geez, dear, why don't we go to Wendy's again?" Or is
Hey,
that only for weddings?
if you
Or
like
not Wendy's, I'm sorry, White
White
Castle.
Castle, yeah, hey, if you like White Castle, can't beat it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
It's your wedding.
I
How
don't know.
many times do you expect to be married? And you're like, so let's just toss it over
Hey,
to the
some
fast
people
food
like
joint."
to keep it simple. I mean, not me, but, hey, that's your thing.
Well,
Yep.
do you get
So,
married by the Burger King?
no, Burger King sucks.
No, but he's a king. Maybe he's allowed to officiate with your
Yeah,
wedding.
there you go. You probably can, right? So that's a whole other show we're gonna have to do, is we're gonna have to run the gauntlet on who has the best. See, but I haven't tried enough fast food places
The
to
West Wedding service for
what?
which fast food place has the best catering for weddings?
Yeah, um, but, like,
Blimpies.
who's got the best burger, who's got the best chicken sandwich, all that shit.
Yeah.
But I haven't had enough of other
Neither have I.
ones.
I've been so far out of the fast food thing that, I
Plus, in the
really
Northeast, you only have certain ones. Like, have you ever had Del Taco before?
I've never heard of Del Taco before.
Have you ever had an
Well, yes, I
In-N-Out
have. I've
burger?
heard of them, but no. Um, no, In-N-Out is, yes, I have. Or is that
In it
Whataburger? Which one is
Maybe there's
only in
Whataburger.
Texas?
Maybe that's what it's not In-N-Out, but maybe that's Whataburger. I feel
Then that would have been
like
Whataburger.
there's a
And
Whataburger,
April,
like, around here.
Casad, I beg your pardon if I forgot which one because I know you swear by that.
Well, I've had
That's what
an
April's
In-N-Out
watching.
burger in California, so I know it's not just in Texas.
And is it as good as they say?
I don't think it's as good as they say. It's good. They put relish on their burgers, I believe, um, and they're good. You know what? They're they're better than Smash Burger. I don't like Smash Burger.
I've
Smash
never
Burger,
tried smash
too
burger.
much of a mustardy taste to it.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, um,
What about Five
but
Guys?
I knew that was coming up
Or
next.
am I, jumping the gun? I didn't let you finish with the smash burger, but
No, that's it on Smash Burger. I wasn't nuts about it, but it kinda reminds me of Smash Burger 'cause it's very thin patties. However, they're not smashed burgers, which are the big thing now. There's a place in my town now that does smashed burgers like that, and they're good, but I don't know, I don't
well,
know, something
you
about the
let all the
flavor of a
juice out if
smashed
you
burger.
smash them. It was sort
Yeah,
of
I don't
the,
know.
what are you doing? It smells better."
It's like an excuse to put
But
2 patties on a burger. It's
oh,
about as big as 1 burger because you smash 2 patties as flat as paper. Five Guys I've had once, and I never had Five Guys again. I remember it being very good, but I also remember that peanut oil doing a number on me like none other. So therefore, I have never had
no
it again.
kidding. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I will say the peanut oil on their fries, I don't like their fries. I'm kinda picky about fries,
Yeah.
and, you have to be. The best thing I could say about their fries are there's a lot of them, especially if you order more than one because they just put them in a sack and then they just dump it into the sack,
Mhm.
and you don't even have to go, "Well, which one is yours?" Because they're both covered in a
Yeah.
gazillion fries on top of it, but they're all smothered in that peanut oil, and it's sort of like,
I remember Gould telling me I'm pretty sure he ate his on the toilet because that's just how it goes. You might as well just eat that burger while you're sitting on the toilet because it whoops your ass that bad. Jack in the Box I've never had. Are there even any Jack in the Boxes in the Northeast? Hiram's in
There
Fort
used
Lee.
to be. I've heard there used to be, but I've never, eaten at one.
Hiram's
I
in
do know
Fort
they're
Lee, I don't
out
think I've
in the
ever
West
heard of.
Coast. Which?
Hiram's in
Hiram's?
Fort Lee has the best hot dogs there fried. Is it like Rutt's Hut fried where they rip open? I do miss the
Yeah,
hot
that's
grill.
the Ruts Hut is the only one I've heard of that I haven't been to. We have a place near us called Davy's Hot Dogs,
Yeah,
Davey.
Jack in the Box in California. Yeah, there's none in here.
Yeah,
There's
and
a
the same with Carl
place
Jr.'s, and all that.
yeah, the Hardee's and shit, yeah. Yeah, there's a place, in West Milford, New Jersey called Paul's Place, which is one of those places that does, like, sauce you can put
Is
on your
that near the
burger and on
movie
your fries.
theaters out in West Milford?
Um, no.
I
Yeah,
haven't been
no.
there since the '80s when
The
my
movie
or not
theater's in
West Milford, I
Warwick.
mean.
Movie theater's in Warwick. The
Oh,
drive-in you're talking about is in Warwick.
no, not
It's
a
I guess
drive-in.
it's not
Not a
far.
drive-in. Well, I'm
Oh,
going back to the '80s, so there might have
yeah.
been
The
a
movie
cinema
theater
in the strip mall.
yeah, yeah, and it hasn't been there in years. Yeah.
Dating
I know
myself.
exactly where you're I'm pretty sure it's like a fucking TJ Maxx
One of
now.
my best friends, lived in West Milford, so I would drive up, like, once every other week, where we
Okay.
would play Risk, and had a great time, but,
Down here in the Carolinas, Pat says down here they have Hardee's, which is pretty good. Heard Hardee's was good.
I've heard they're not so good, or
No?
wait a minute, no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking Carl and not Hardy,
Aren't they the same
Hardy, have
thing?
I heard of?
Carl's Jr. and Hardee's?
They are, that's right, Hardee's is with 2 E's. It's been misspelled.
Ruts Hut Rippers used to be the place for fried hot dogs, not no more. Really? Why not anymore, Mitch? Yeah,
They're
they used to
still there.
call them Rippers. I know that. Yeah, the Ruts Hut and the Hot Grill in Clifton. Really dug the Hot Grill. I would get
And that
burgers
lizard
though.
just says
I
no.
wouldn't get Texas wieners. Yeah, no. No to what, Pat? No that when Scott said he heard they weren't good. I heard it's not good. You know what? No. You're wrong.
You know, growing up, they had, there was only one place that sold hot dogs, as
Nathan's.
a chain food style kinda thing. It was called the Chuck Wagon, and it was
Not heard
out
of the Chuck
on,
wagon.
Route 23? Or was it 46?
Not Nathan's
46, I think.
Nathan's that was selling Red Hots?
Nathan's wasn't around anywhere. They didn't have
Get your Red
stores in
Hots?
mall when I was a kid, Nathan's did not have stores in, malls.
Yeah, I know.
And they only
And when I
had,
was a
the
kid, they didn't have
Nathan's
them.
Famous out on Coney Island. It didn't become a chain until later.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, when I was a kid, there were only 1 or 2 malls.
Max's in West Long Branch has footlongs. Don't know that one either. Yeah, never got the Texas wieners at the Hot Grill. Again, always burgers and fries with the sauce on it, delicious. Paul's Place does the sauce. You like cheese fries with sauce on, delicious. Some sauce on the burger, killer stuff.
I've never
Um,
really liked, cheese fries all that much. It's almost too easy, meaning that, it's sort of like, "I know, what's the fastest way we can add 1,000 calories to a serving of fries? Let's dump cheese on
let's
it."
douse them in cheese. That's
Yeah.
what makes
Now,
them
like I
delicious.
said, it's almost too easy. And as a result, the cheese isn't as good as it probably could be.
Well,
It
this again,
tends to
this
be like, melted Velveeta or, no, what's
well,
the other, cheese? Cheese Whiz. It's like melted Cheese Whiz,
but that's what I'm
which
talking about.
oddly enough is what they put in cheesesteaks.
Like when I mentioned the loaded fries before, you can't throw a couple fucking slabs of Kraft singles on those cheese and bake it for 5 minutes and expect to get some nice cheese fries. No, nacho cheese is very good on cheese fries. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean some sprinkled melted cheese in there is good with fries. Yeah, cheese fries are delicious. I actually
well, and
almost prefer
they
some
can be.
nacho
I mean, I
cheese.
don't hate them, anything. I just think it's way too easy to eat them. And it's like eating, Wise potato chips. They're
Yeah,
greasy and they probably have so many calories you just put on a pound by eating a bag that weighs
yeah.
a half a pound, which is not easy to do.
Rumors have it that they changed the grease they fried the hot dogs in after 50 years. That's at Rutt's Hut. Changed their recipe so they're not as good. Wow, that's crazy because that place was a landmark. Whenever
Yeah.
there's, all those places, best food places in Jersey, Rutt's Hut was always on the list. They deep fry the hot dogs for so long they rip open and all that flavor just comes pouring out. Pat's
Mm.
heading to bed. Thanks for watching, Pat. I don't know how much
Oh,
longer
thank
we're
you,
gonna
Pat.
go for, but thanks for your
Oh,
input
yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
watching. Yep, yeah, my kids are zonked out on the couch.
I just got
I
a
ju
text from my wife saying, like, "You still up? Go to
yeah,
bed." Don't forget we have to leave early tomorrow." "Yes, I know, I know." But
Yeah,
this is so much fun. I've been waiting for this all day.
I know. Well, I think we covered a lot of ground here. Like I said,
Yeah.
I mean, I like Cube Nerds. It's hard to add another podcast to the Spear Studios repertoire, but I mean, I think a food podcast would really be up our alley. I've got a lot of things on
I
the list
think we would
already.
run out of things to talk about after about 5 or 10, and the next thing you know is we're the Food Network, and we're just, having competitions against each other
Well, hey, that's all right.
because that's
Like,
all the Food
yeah,
Network is now.
like I said, I've got
That's
a
why I don't
list
watch
here
it
of
anymore.
shit. I mean, Domino's Pizza we covered, but shit like, adding to stuff, Sun Chips, pickles and ice cream, milk, different types of milk, love chocolate, do not like chocolate milk. So, I mean, there's a lot of things we can discuss, even just any types of food, whatever. But yeah. So I
Well,
think
we
maybe
didn't cover toast, and we should cover toast because we're into the basics. And by the way, toast, no mustard.
no mustard on toast.
No mustard on
Well,
toast.
yeah.
Jelly,
I
I
mean,
think you would probably allow.
jelly on toast. Yeah, totally. Yeah, mustard on toast.
Well,
No
you know how
thanks.
my mind works, so you were probably waiting for me to suggest both of those, and I
But I
would say like, "No,
also,
no, no, don't worry, I'm not completely off the wall."
yeah, I also would not like fucking jelly on my mustard grilled cheese or mustard on my grilled cheese.
I understand, but there are so many
So,
different ways. For instance, in Britain, evidently, it is a thing not to eat the toast hot. Those toast racks that they have in Britain, you've heard of the toast racks? It's l
oh,
it think of it as a little rack to hold toast the way you'd hold dishes, um, uh,
wow,
I
okay.
in your dishwasher. So you just little things there you put in, and the toast is, of course, cut in half diagonally, and evidently they just butter cold toast. But they do put on a lot more different in Britain, varieties of jelly, marmalade and all those others, fancy things.
Have you
"Could you please
ever
pass the jelly?"
did you ever
These type
see yeah. I know what you're talking about. I only know that because it was a Family Guy reference that that commercial.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
uh-huh.
you're young for that
They
commercial,
actually
but
played the whole commercial. "Can you pass the jelly?"
well, please,
Um,
and I remember when it came out and you're like, "Oh, it hits just the right note of humor without being stupid."
have you ever seen it was an interaction between John Taffer and Robert Irvine, and
I
John
think
Taffer
didn't they do a mini series together on
yes,
TV?
yeah, and this is an interaction where they're talking, and Taffer tells him because 'cause they're both drinking a beer, and Robert Irvine polishes his beer off. He's like, "Look at me, I got my beers done, you're still sipping on yours." And Taffer is like, "Because that's all you guys do over here is drink. You got a tavern every 10 feet because you've got some of the worst food in the entire world." And Robert Irvine goes, he's like, "What are you talking about? Like 5 of the top 10 restaurants in the top restaurant rated restaurants in the world are here in London." He goes, "Yeah, what kind of food do they serve?" He goes, "French." And then they both start busting out laughing because
I'm
yeah,
not
because
surprised.
yeah, because the
Britain is
food
not
is
known,
yeah, horrendous.
well for their food.
No. Yeah,
But,
so,
yeah, bangers and mash.
yeah, exactly. Alright, so let's yeah, I guess let's wrap it up.
Okay.
There'll be believe me, there'll be food fight 4, 5, whatever. Even though we just had a lot of discussion, this didn't go the way I thought it would go. This was very civil discussions.
I know you were expecting me to yell, and I just didn't feel like being as off the wall as you probably think I am. I,
yeah, I was looking to be that way too. I like the open discussions. I like we got a lot of interactions from
yeah,
viewers tonight.
and it because, it's there aren't that many things anymore that I really hate, as far as food tastes go.
Yeah, as you get older, you get a lot
Um,
more open-minded. And you know what? You're like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not try that?"
or, that one person on Facebook, who, thought I was being serious about it. And she had been like, "Oh, you put this sad little face when I say I like to eat food like this? Well, fine, go and enjoy your hockey puck." And I was like, "Oh, she took that seriously. No, oh, I'm
I
so
don't
sorry. And I
I
felt
don't
like I didn't feel like doing that tonight.
I don't think I kept up with that. Um,
Anyway, I
yeah, I
just,
didn't see the rest of it.
I'm trying to be cognizant of not just talking and sounding like I'm just deranged.
Well, I don't
'Cause
know,
I'm
man.
already deranged enough, so,
Yeah, you got a few
we can
takes
come
that
back to the food fight, we can talk about the last meals on the Titanic. If you ever want to, we can sort of combine some of my interests that way. We could talk about, anything you like.
sorry, what'd you say?
We
I
can
just
talk
got
about anything you like the next time we revisit food as, one of the topics on Cube Nerds.
yeah. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you for watching.
Oh,
Looking forward to your next exciting episode. So, we'll be back next Tuesday at
yep.
around 9:30, 9:45.
We'll be
Um,
late.
yes. Yeah, man, I'll probably be
So
late.
roll with it. Deal with it, buddy.
Yeah, if I can get my
It's a
kids to
long
bed
day.
if I can get my kids to bed earlier. And then that week, so next week we'll talk business trips because the
Yeah.
week after there won't be any podcasts because I will be away. Um,
Oh.
I'll be gone
Uh,
all week on a business trip. So
oh,
next
that's
week
right.
we'll
You're going on your own business trip, so you don't wanna
yeah.
do it remotely.
No, I don't. I don't have the time for that shit.
Stop
Plus
it, Scott. No.
I'll be on uh mountain time. So no, Vegas is 3 hours, right? So I'll be on Pacific time. Yeah.
I I thought it was Mountain Time, but maybe it's Pacific.
I think it's 3 hours.
I haven't been there in 20 years, so it's hard to remember.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 3 hours, but let's see.
So, and next week I'll caution you about tips for Vegas, so that you don't go broke gambling and things like that. There
Well,
are
I ain't to
some
worry
things
about that. I'm cheap as hell. Yeah,
I
it's
am
3
too.
hours. 3-hour difference in Vegas, which sucks because, like, my flight home, I'll leave around 11:30, and then I'll get home at 8 o'clock at night. 'Cause it's a 5-hour flight and a 3-hour difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaving there or going there, I'm leaving around 6:30, and I'll get there at, like, 9 or 10 o'clock or something their time. Ugh, it's gonna be such a pain in the ass. But, again, it's, part of the new gig.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, we'll talk business trips next week. Um, alright,
Yep.
what else you wanna plug, Scott?
So, oh yes. So anyway, my audiobook is out called She Loves You, written by author Jude Sutherland Kessler. She Loves You, Volume 3 of the John Lennon series, available wherever fine audiobooks are available from, except we still haven't had a release date yet for Audible books in Amazon. But it is available from Barnes& and Nobles, Books A Million, and Spotify in
Spotify.
particular, as well as Apple. So if you, have an Apple phone and, you wanna listen to our audiobook, hey, you just go to your book app and audiobooks are right on there. You buy it, it's inexpensive, it's only $20 for a 33-hour book. Oh my god! And it even comes with a PDF with all the bonus content that the book has, including the wonderful illustrations, for instance. So
Very
that's
cool.
one thing I've got. I'm in a new episode of Beetle Drama, which is called A Day in Their Life. It is the only Beatles audio drama ever, the only series ever made on the Beatles as a drama on radio. And I'm in the new episode, episode 5, aired today. Go to
Cool.
beetledrama.com, subscribe for free, listen for free. No cost ever. And it will eventually be on, the podcast platform of your choice. But if you want to hear me, then I would encourage you to do that.
And who do you
So,
play again?
I play John Lennon's father, Fred or Alf Lennon,
Cool.
and the producer of the show, his name is King Mixer, um, does a really good job with the sound. So I was so thrilled to hear myself sound different.
That's very cool.
And, not that he processed my voice or anything, he just did a good job of, coaching as well. About the only other thing to mention is, another podcast that I work on has in crowdfunding now in Indiegogo Peculiar Radio. And I'm one of the writers on that series, as well as an actor for one of the minor roles. And we're doing our crowdfunding now. It's a very funny audio drama, a comedy regarding a town called Peculiar Radio in a town called Peculiar Springs. And so look us up on Indiegogo. We have all sorts of different platforms for donating. And we're about a third of the way, I think, now toward our goal of raising 10,000 for it, so that we can pay all of our starving actors and producers and everybody else who's been donating their time so far for
Yeah.
this. It's really well done. Sounds good too, because I've heard the first few episodes. They're all
Nice,
in the
man.
can. We're just waiting for enough money to really launch it in style
Yeah.
and to do it right.
Man, you are keeping busy.
I know, isn't this wonderful?
Yeah.
I've also got other projects, but I'm not gonna talk about them right now. Those are the ones currently out,
Yep.
and you're getting tired. Do you have
I
anything to plug, sir?
apologize. I do,
Uh,
but also don't forget McKinleyCode.com
oh,
and
thank you. Yes,
following you
McKinleyCO.com.
on all
Just
social media
updated.
platforms at Scott R. McKinley.
Thank you. Yes.
Um, yeah, and for me, you can follow me on everything at Mike Spear Jr. Follow Cube Nerds on Instagram and Twitter at Cube Nerds on Instagram, at Cube_Nerds on Twitter. Not overly active on the Cube Nerds social medias, but I need to be. But make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to these videos on the Spear Studios YouTube channel.
Oh,
Also, do it if you're listening to our podcast. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you get your podcasts, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe, and let us know how we're doing. Let us know any questions you have. Um, if
I
you go
forgot. I forgot that
to yeah, go ahead.
very quickly. I was interviewed for Breakfast with the Beatles radio show, and that'll be airing this Saturday on different radio channels across the United States and
Wow.
even internationally, like in New Zealand and Australia,
On, like, terrestrial radio?
on terrestrial radio, as in
Wow.
non streaming only. So in New Jersey, for instance, on Saturday morning, Saturday the 13th, 6 a.m., Breakfast with the Beatles. It's not the one from New York. It's on one of the oldies channels. And if you give me just a second, I have it right over here.
That's very
That's not
cool.
it.
Wow, man.
I'll be on
National
for New
exposure.
Jersey, 95.1 FM, or in Edison, 107.9 FM, New Jersey. At Saturday at 6 in the morning, I'll be on with author Jude Sutherland Kessler and on Breakfast with the Beatles. There we go. With
Very cool.
Dennis Mitchell. Dennis Mitchell, he's the host.
Okay.
Really nice
Excellent.
guy, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And lots of Beatle music, blah, blah, blah.
yeah. Yeah, so anywhere you follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I have a linker in my bio that takes you to all my stuff, takes you to all the Instagram pages for the Mind Your Effing Business podcast for Cube Nerds. My Etsy page where you can buy my comic, Championship Wrestling League number
Yay!
1. And don't forget, I also have a Kickstarter running right now that is live. There's 2 weeks left to go, and I am less than halfway to my goal. But you can go to @CWL Comic on Instagram, and there's a link in the bio to check out the Kickstarter, so I can get some print copies made for issue 2. Issue 2 is done, and it is completely done digitally, but I would like some print copies to be made up because a lot of people like their print copies of their
I
comics. So, yeah, do that. Back the Kickstarter. There's rewards that have issues 1 and 2. There's T-shirts, pins. You can actually get drawn into issue 3. And also the artist of the book has offered to make his comic available as a reward as well. So I need to update all the stuff for that too. So yeah,
Ooh.
check that out. And yeah, lots more to come. All righty, sir. Um,
Alrighty.
yeah, we can
Thank you,
keep this
Mike.
going.
Yep.
Thank you. And
Great
we will
episode, or at least felt really good.
yeah.
And now I'm starving and I can go eat.
Yeah,
Have
please.
some leftover meat lasagna and I might even sneak in a piece of KFC chicken that I have left over in the fridge.
Wow. At 11:30 at night. But hey, man,
At 11:30 at night, getting
man's
up
got to eat.
early, no breakfast, so, there you go. Plus,
Man,
I'm probably gonna be up for the next couple of hours anyway, I still have to pack.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, go to bed. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, folks.
Yep,
Have a good night. Take
be
care.
seeing you.